I worked hard to get my degree, but I was working even harder to pay off my student loans. Then I found Credible.com. Credible made it fast and easy to compare pre-qualified refinancing rates from top lenders, so it would be faster and easier to pay off my student loans. I'm saving hundreds of dollars monthly, and checking rates on Credible was free. If you want to lower your student loan payments, get help from Credible.com.
Message from Credible Operations, Inc., read by an actor. Pre-qualified rates are not an offer of credit. Terms apply. Visit Credible.com for details.
Don't wait. Refinance your student loans today at Credible.com. Credible.com.
Our 2-year anniversary is coming up, by the way. By the way.
We should do something.
Are you excited? We should do something.
I don't give a fuck. I'm joking. It's good. I'm excited. Do
you know what day it is? Do you know? I have it on my calendar.
Today is Tuesday.
No, do you know what? It's the 13th of April.
Oh, there we go.
And we're going to have to do something for it. So,
yeah.
There you go.
I told everyone you get your top off on a live Instagram feed, and that was how we were going to celebrate.
No.
Just quieten down, baby.
Per capita export value.
Libraries!
Minister, are you embarrassed by your behavior today?
There's a lot of bleeding hearts around.
Do you have the fortitude or the gonads to stand up and come across here and say that to me, you son of a bitch?
Just watch me.
He certainly went too far, Mr. Speaker, when I saw him stick his tongue out.
Contemptuous disregard. More than a slab of bacon talking here.
The disappointment you also feel is my responsibility.
I lost my temper. What is the nature of your thoughts?
The word was F-A-R-T.
I got sticky fingers because I just ate a cinnamon bun.
Okay, tell me more about your sticky fingers, Rhys.
Well, I already sealed myself in the booth.
Booth of stickiness? I know you've been working in the booth of stickiness for a long time.
I call it the chamber of armpits because it's the booth with no air conditioning, and that you've been in it as well.
I wanna talk more about your booth of stickiness.
Oh, it's not. It's the chamber of armpits where, the smaller booth where.
I still can't see my.
I can see a waveform. It's fine.
Is it nice and big?
Yeah, it looks big to me.
It
compared to what I'm used to. So looks fine. Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, I feel like we should. Let's.
Yeah,
All right, I'll do it. Okay. Well, welcome to whatever this show has devolved into. Canadian politics is boring. My name is Jesse Harley, and with me, as always, is the ineffable Rhys Waters.
Aye.
That's yeah. There you go.
I don't know. You couldn't see it, but I did one of those really bad turn to cameras, as if, oh hi, I was just recording a podcast,
like they did in every single '90s sitcom.
Yeah,
and title screen.
Yeah, exactly. And I just realized that this is just pure audio, and it was wasted on everyone apart from me. But it was worth it just for me. So
it just reminded me of Too Many Cooks. You're
familiar? Too Many Cooks.
Yeah, you know Too Many Cooks. Okay, yeah.
I watch it. I make my kids watch it every day before they go to school.
Okay, that's a bit disturbing. Dear listener, if you're not familiar with Too Many Cooks, just trust me, it is worth. I think it's like 20 minutes long, but it is
Grab
worth
the kids,
every
sit down and enjoy it.
Second, it's worth every second. It just reminded me of 1990s sitcoms sort of thing.
Yeah. So Jesse, I've got a question for you.
I don't know why my voice sounds hoarse.
Yeah,
it's weird. Yeah,
it doesn't. It sounds totally fine.
It's fine. Does it sound fine to you? Okay.
I've never known anyone to be so self-critical of themselves. Just be you.
Nobody?
What's that?
All
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody?
You're like, I'm like, Jesse, the podcast is going really well. There's people across the country and the world listening to it. And look, we're getting these opportunities. And you're like, yeah, but I'm worried that it's just not going very well.
I'm the Eeyore of our duo.
You're the Eeyore of the podcast world.
I was going to say just of our duo, but I'm the Eeyore of the entire podcasting world.
Yeah.
All right. That's
we just signed with Acast, and you're like, yeah, but what is the point?
This is why you're too. I think this is why we make a good duo. Is we're like opposites of one another. You are forever the optimist. No matter what happens to you You'll like your house could burn down, and you'd be standing outside 3:00 in the morning in your boxer shorts, watching the blaze, thinking to yourself, "My God, this will just be a great story to tell."
And also, I've got full insurance. We're going to get new stuff
and a bag of marshmallows.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This is totally a win. So,
meanwhile, I'll win the lottery and think, "Oh, this isn't enough."
Oh, yeah. This is
I wanted 3 balances. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I've got a new neighbor, and they've got a really fancy house that was built, a brand new one, and they have like 4 or 5.
What
Sorry?
constitutes a fancy house in your mind?
It was like it sold for like $1 million.
Oh, that's pretty.
Which in Atlantic Canada is a fancy house.
Yeah, it's a fancy house.
Yeah, and the neighbor's got like 5 cars, and like it looks like, but they're like all like sports cars or like a Hummer and all these things, and it looks like a rap video. Like they're just looking at their house. So
that's amazing. Who the fuck? Like what? Oh God, that's.
But every time I drive past, I'm just like living in a rap video. Look,
that's kind of sad, honestly.
Look, kids, there's our neighbor who lives in a rap video. Wave, like, so.
Help me! I can't escape. Help, please! I'm just rhyming badly all day. His face pressed up against the window. Camera crew behind him. I don't know where this voice came from, but I like it. I might use it some more. I'm in a rap video.
So, Jesse, I've got a question for you. Do you own a house?
No, I wish.
Do you live in one?
Kind of. It's like a house with like apartments in it, sort of thing.
So you've got your own place to live. So this episode is called "The Housing Crisis is Bullshit."
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great shit about that. Yeah.
So I
especially Nova Scotia with our you know what we need in Nova Scotia? I'm sure we've had this discussion, but like there's a lot of things that like people are kind of complaining about and yelling about, and you know there's a lot of problems that Nova Scotians have, and I don't mean to disclude the rest of the country. But Nova Scotia has one problem that I think if we solved this one problem above all else, we'd be far, far better off. We desperately need more condos. Just like any condos. Give me 1 or 2 other condos. It's fine. At the moment, we are in desperate need of condos. We're sorely lacking in condos, specifically condos. So,
yeah.
Throwing that out there,
and they kind of look the same. You literally build one, and you could be anywhere in the world. They just
I mean, I don't mean low cost housing.
No.
I don't mean affordable housing. I mean
characterless, overpriced ones
with a coffee shop in the bottom. Yeah. We don't have enough of those,
and a trendy local brewery.
Right. My God,
that I assume is struggling to pay the rent. But
I'm so fucking sick of the condos in Nova Scotia. In case you guys weren't picking up on my insane sarcasm. If there's construction happening in Nova Scotia, there's a 99% chance that is being made into a fucking condo, and it's everywhere. I don't know. We don't like to the point where Nova Scotians routinely have the question, like they talk to themselves like, "What is going on?" Like it's that much to the point of like, "What is happening? What is like seriously what is going on?" We're all kind of befuddled by it. Don't really understand.
so I mean, there is a housing crisis, and there's not enough homes. Everyone is struggling to find housing, unless you've got a ton of money. But the thing is that they are building lots, but they're not building houses that are affordable for people. Most people who are struggling to find housing.
God, no. Like Halifax, Nova Scotia was, I think, recently.
But this is Canada wide.
Most. Yeah, no, I'm from here, so it's hits me harder. But like we've been deemed the most expensive city to live in all of the country, including Victoria,
compared to wages and everything.
Yeah, cost of living. So like rent is insane.
And like like where I live, like they're building tens of thousands of new housing units, but they all cost like they're not affordable.
$1 million. Yeah,
they all cost. And then not that I live in like a fancy neighborhood or anything, but it's just that the new developments all tend to be like they start at like 600,000, and like the Nova Scotian government announced that they were spending $22 million to build 373 new affordable housing units, and that's it, like 343 affordable units.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, you know, it's a start. I'll give them that. Because before they said that, there was nothing. right? Like, except for more condos,
It's-
which are like
But
unaffordable condos.
It's like you've just taken a Band-Aid off your arm and you've just tried to stick the Titanic back together with it. But that's what it's like. It's a small
essentially.
dent. Yeah. That was one of my better metaphors.
We
Usually my
want
metaphors are
cheap labor, but we don't want to give them a place to live.
No, exactly.
their
Why
slogan,
don't you
their
sleep under
musical
your
slogan.
desk? The new desk hammock. Sleep under your desk. There we go. It's made from renewable materials. So, Jesse, what do you think affordable housing is? How would you define affordable housing?
A house that you can afford.
Is
So, I don't. I mean, like they in quotes, they say that you should be able to pay for where you live, whether it be rent or mortgage, with 1/3 of your paycheck, which I still think is quite a large.
It is,
sum
yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
But that's what they say.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
if
It's 30% of a household's before tax income. It deems it as affordable housing. So you're only spending 1/3 of your money for a roof over
before
your head.
taxes. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Exactly.
It's the worst.
And
So I
then-
mean, that's before
So
affordable.
it's probably more like 40%, maybe
Yeah,
more.
right. Yeah,
So
let's take that,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then and the problem is as well, what happens is if you live in if you don't want to live in an expensive area and you want to move further out and get cheaper accommodation or cheaper housing costs, then that just increases your transportation costs. So is when you use that as a term, it doesn't
unless you just
actually-
never leave the woods.
Yeah, it's just too complicated. So when someone buys a cheaper house out, it increases the transportation costs. So it's a very simple way of defining what affordable housing is. And it's this thing called anyone who spends more than 30% of their income on shelter are classed. They're deemed to be considered core housing need, and core housing need helps identify a households living in dwellings considered unsuitable, inadequate, or unaffordable, and it also considers income levels so that you basically can't afford where you're living now or any suitable or adequate housing within the community you live. I think that covers, so anyone who's spending more than 30%, which is a lot of people, I imagine,
Oh yeah.
are at that stage of core housing. At the stage of in core housing need. It's crazy, and a lot of the stats I don't think have even caught up. So 2018, 11% were in core housing need. I think it's probably going to be higher than that.
So hold on, core. You're saying core housing?
Core housing need is in they spend more than 30% of their income on housing.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And renters are 3 times more likely to be core housing need than homeowners.
I know several people who have to live with like a large amount of roommates, simply because if they didn't, they would not be able to live at all.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like they don't live with a large amount of roommates because they want to live with 27 people.
It's just the only affordable option. Oh, and the other thing,
although to be fair, like I said that was an exaggeration, but years ago when I was looking for a place of my own in Halifax, I was looking around and. I love this one ad didn't show what was really going on. It was like, the photos were nice and all that. I'm like, okay, well, this could be a thing. And there's roommates. They just said roommates. They didn't specify anything else. Of course they didn't, because no one would show up if they told you exactly what was going on. So I go to this apartment, and it's a tiny fucking apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment with a tiny little kitchenette that turns into a tiny little living room, and that's it. And it was in this kind of rundown, gross apartment building. And I get like someone meets me at the door downstairs and brings me up in the elevator. And he's kind of shy looking, and I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. You're just meeting me for the first time. And he brings me inside, and there's like 8 or 9 college students living on the floor, like on air mattresses and blankets. 8 or 9. Maybe that might be an exaggeration. It might have been like 7, right? And they're all looking at me like...
Were they all watching 10 Things I Hate About You and having a sleepover?
No, they were living there while going to college. And they all looked at me like deers in headlights. And one of them said, like, you can have the bedroom. The bedroom can be yours if you want. Because I guess I would be paying for the majority of the rent or whatever. I don't know.
And
but
then I was great. I can step over you in the night when I need a piss.
Like, good God, man.
That's inadequate housing because that also.
So I lived there for 4 years. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't.
exactly. And you're still good friends now.
Oh yeah, that's good.
All of you. So also you're twice as likely to be in core housing need if you're a visible minority, and 37% of seniors are core housing need. So they're living in unaffordable homes, which is crazy. And if you spend more than 50% on housing, you're considered severe housing need. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people who spend that much on their income and are just eating noodles and just saying, hey, we'll pay it off one day, and then maybe we'll be able to afford to have a life as well as a home. It's just pretty common, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved to Atlantic,
the joys of capitalism. Once again.
Yay! So most of Canada's social housing was built between 1946 and 1993. So the problem is there's so much construction going on all across Canada, but it's not the right kind of housing to solve any of these problems.
Is this episode? Are you trying to just sneak in an educational episode?
No. I'm going to get.
Or is it just I'm just going to teach Jesse about how the shitty housing crisis? He's going to learn something today, and he's going to expect something wild and crazy. But by the end of the episode, he's just going to have learned. I can't wait.
But, this is it's a combination.
Someone better be on fire by the end of this episode. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, how about
not like you or me?
Yeah. Just somebody. Okay, everyone's drunk. So. Do you? I think the problem is that a lot of this construction is going on because. Do you think that if a property developer gives a politician lots of money, they will prioritize social housing, or do you think they'll let them build?
If who gives a politician lots of money? Sorry,
a property developer, construction companies, people building these condos you love so much. Do you think they're going to be up for doing more social housing?
Well. Our politicians are so corruptless. It's impossible.
You make up a word.
I did. Did you like it?
Corruptified.
Corrupt. No, I was saying corruptless.
Corruptless.
Completely unable to be corrupted.
Oh,
no matter how much money or sex that you throw at them or drugs, they will always do the morally right thing. Yeah.
Always do the right thing.
So obviously, no. They must have other reasons for not addressing the housing crisis. I'm guessing because they really want to address the housing crisis. I'm guessing that Jesus came down and told them not to for reasons, and they're like, "Well, God works in mysterious ways. Can't touch the housing, make affordable housing right now." So I'm surprised they haven't told us that because everyone.
I just wish they'd open up and say it because it's important. No one's ever solved a housing crisis in their entire lives. It's just impossible.
It's impossible.
It is impossible. It's too hard. It's not even worth everyone. By the time you've done it, you're like. I remember I tried to solve the housing crisis once, and I woke up 3 days later.
On the shitter.
I didn't remember what happened. There was dried blood all around my mouth, and
Jesus
and
Christ.
I
don't know if you heard what I said, but I said that you were trying to solve the housing crisis on the shitter, and then you said you woke up 3 days later with dried blood around your mouth. And I'm still picturing you waking up out of a coma on the toilet. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is just too hard. No wonder the politicians don't address this issue. So I've got an article from the Thai.
Where's Daddy? Oh, Daddy's in another toilet coma.
He tried to solve the housing crisis, and we just need to wait for him to come back round.
And he just you kind of stumble out of the bathroom, dried blood around your mouth. Nope, no, honey, sorry. It's okay, dear. Come. She comes, runs over, puts a blanket around your shoulders, and your children run up to you.
Stop trying to solve the world's problems on the toilet. You keep blanking out.
We had to shit in a bucket for 3 days.
She's like, are you trying to solve problems in there? So anyway, I found a really good, interesting article from June 2018 by Jeff Dembecki, and it's called "How Developers Sway Vancouver Elections," and it was looking at a municipal election in in Vancouver. So I'm going to read you the article. In the last civic election, Vancouver's most left-leaning party was virtually wiped from the political map. The coalition of progressive electors, mayoral candidate Mina Wong, finished a distant third. The political party, which had for decades been a gravitational force in Vancouver politics, failed to elect a single councillor. And they were looking at different reasons why this happened. And apparently, it had been the most expensive election in Vancouver's history. Her rival had raised $2.9 million, and another party had raised $2.4 million on pro-development platforms. The biggest backers by far were companies somehow involved with real estate. Mina Wong's party had proposed policies such as tax on empty homes and raised less than $100,000. So a lot of the pro-property developer candidates are being given a lot of money to compete in very small elections where decisions are made on planning and completely flooding the market with messaging that the smaller, kind of more pro-affordable housing parties can't afford to keep up with.
Joy. This isn't surprising at all.
It is surprising. You just said that Jesus made them do it, so it is surprising. It's supposed to be a plot twist.
No one's on fire yet. So
do you know who else? Can you think of a politician? And we once said he looks like he's about to pop. Who else is involved with property developers?
Aaron O'Toole?
No, Doug Ford.
Doug Ford, right? Doug Ford did look like he's about to pop like a pimple.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So 8 of Ontario's most powerful land developers own thousands of prime real estate near the proposed route for the controversial Highway 413, a National Observer Toronto Star investigation has found. 4 of the developers are connected to Doug Ford's progressive conservative government through party officials and former Tory politicians now acting as registered lobbyists. So basically, the property developers and the people spending the money on construction and infrastructure all have a direct line and personal interest in a lot of the parties and the decisions being made.
Yay.
Isn't that good?
That's great.
So what are you going to do about it, Jesse?
It's fuck all I could do about it. I'm going to go sit on the toilet for 3 days and see if I can solve it.
Just blank out. It's just too hard. We've all tried. Doug Ford is at a press conference with dry blood around his mouth. So we tried. It's just too hard. We're just going to build more condos. That actually feels good rather than blanking out. So do you know that Canada has the lowest average housing supply per capita out of
housing supply?
Yeah, so how many houses are available for people to live in compared to the population?
Oh.
Out of all of the G7 countries. So there are 424 units per 1,000 people.
In all of Canada?
In all of Canada, which is behind the UK, which is a small island with almost double the population compared to the world's second largest country that has so much space that it's an entirely manufactured. It's a manufactured crisis. Or it's not even manufactured, it's just an accident that nobody wants to correct.
If you have private student loan debt over $75,000, listen up. Credible.com can help you refinance your private student loans and save thousands. Unlike other refi sites that show you teaser rates, Credible lets you compare actual pre-qualified rates from top lenders in minutes. And with their best rate guarantee, if they can't find you a lower rate, they'll give you a $200 gift card. Let Credible help you get out from under high interest rate student loans. Go to Credible.com now.
Message from Credible Operations Inc. Pre-qualified rates are not on offer of credit. Terms apply. Visit Credible.com for details.
Don't wait. Refinance your student loans today at Credible.com.
So what's going to happen? This can't keep going.
I thought that we could come up with some solutions on this podcast between the two of us.
Oh God!
What?
Hold on. I had to move my laptop to the bathroom, then get some serviettes for my blood encrusted mouth.
Get a wet wipe a moist towelette for the dried blood for when you wake up, roughly on the weekend sometime. So now, honestly though, and this is
I like your hammock under the desk idea. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
In
Desk hammock.
fact,
It's perfect for capitalism, kind of in this day and age. Why bother paying for a house?
Rhys, we haven't done this in 2 years, but you should come up with a commercial on the spot for desk hammocks.
Okay.
With music and sound effects like we used to do.
Okay, shall I just do the improv now?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do my PSA voice. Hang on.
Do it. Yeah.
You there, Johnny. What's that? You work 12 hours a day in an office for a job that you hate? You can't afford your home, but you don't spend any time there anyway. You're always at your desk, so why not make your desk your home? New desk hammock conveniently folds away so your boss doesn't know that you sleep there. Lifts you off the ground so that the cleaners may hoover underneath you. And is waterproof, washproof, made from environmentally friendly materials and can be recycled. New desk hammock. Your life is miserable, so why not embrace it? How was that?
That's good.
Thank you.
Good. I don't know if it was as good as Moose Suppositories or Snortable Mustard, but it was all the above.
Yeah. It's Tuesday afternoon. What do you want from me? So I want to give you some answers about all these condos that they build.
Yeah. So they're everywhere.
So Nova Scotia.
I've heard rumors. I've heard a number of rumors as to what's happening. Some that have to do with money laundering.
It's just to do with money. It's just
like
money.
Foreign parents who want to send their children to university, and so that they buy these condos in advance for anticipating when their children are going to university. That's another rumor I've heard. I don't know how much validity is put into any of these, but anyway,
I don't know. But anyway, so Nova Scotia is building these social housing units, but they what they're doing is making the same mistake everybody else has ever done with building social housing, and that is that they're just building all of the social housing in one place, highly concentrated, and it's in no way anywhere near or mixed in with any of the new developments for unaffordable housing. So in the UK, and this used to be a good thing that has now been watered down, there was a thing called Section 106. So if a property developer wanted to build a development of 100 homes, at least like 25% of those homes had to be social housing or at least affordable, so that it was a mixture of different incomes in one area rather than concentrating the rich people in one place and the poorer people in another place, which is typically bad. And also that planning, the company that was coming in to do it would also have to pay money to help create new spaces in schools and hospitals in the area as well, and make sure that they helped pay for parks and everything else. So that
this was put in place at one point.
This was in the UK, and it's how me and my wife got on the property ladder, because they had to build affordable housing in new developments that are alongside the more profitable kind of homes. It was just the law that they brought in. So it's like, so all these new condos, there's no affordable units in those condos really, but if they were told by the law that they had to make like a certain percentage of them affordable, then they just wouldn't have a choice. They could still make a ridiculous amount of money on everything else, but at least there were some new affordable ones created. That's one idea, Jesse.
How did that work?
It worked. Like I said, I got on the ladder because of that.
So what's stopping us from doing it here?
Again, just who do you think?
Jesus.
Why do you? Jesus again. Jesus told them that people will only love each other and themselves when they have nothing to live for. So let's just strive ever closer to that goal. So I mean, I've never read the Bible, but I had a pretty good kids version of it, and that's the message I got. So Have you ever heard of Quayside Village in North Vancouver?
I have not.
So in 1998, they opened Quayside Village, which was a community. It's like a mini condo, but not like really tall. And it was 19 residential units that had 19 residential units and some commercial space, and they were mixed between bachelor 1 and 2 bedroom flats as well as 2 and 3 bedroom townhouse units. Some of them were sold as affordable homes, some were sold at market value, some were rental units. And it was just a community where they had this courtyard. It's still there and everything. And it was really compact. It was only a quarter of an acre that it took out. And if you were a family, it meant you get a backyard. If you were not really interested in having that, you'd have like a nice view of the city. So they kind of built all these units. So it was a mixture of families and young people, and they even had a community garden where they could grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, and those kind of things. And they had a meditation room and a rooftop deck that was communal as well. Still is, and is kind of built as like a model. And they built one of those in the 90s, and they never built another one again.
Oh my god!
So it sounds great.
It does sound.
Would you live there?
Great. Yeah, it sounds fun.
It's like, where are you going? I'm going to the communal garden to just dig up my beans.
So here goes Rhys playing with his beans in the garden again.
Exactly. I woke up in the communal garden with dried blood around my mouth. I thought I could solve world hunger with my beans.
You thought you could what?
Solve world hunger with my beans. So, so
this if we're gonna if you don't have a title for this podcast episode, I think you should call it "Waking Up with Dried Blood Around Your Mouth." Just say, let's just really confuse people for a second.
I tried to solve the world's problems, and I woke up with it's too hard. It's just too hard. Like global warming. Don't even the amount of times I've woken up just in a forest with my trousers around my ankles, dried blood around my mouth.
I don't know why it's so funny, but it is.
I think it's a better excuse for us not doing anything to solve any problems. So there's just like an off switch in your brain. Yeah. So anyway, I honestly, I think that it's a mixture of people are getting paid off, people a massive lack of imagination.
Oh yeah,
because Canada has so much space.
Oh, huge, and we're like greatly underpopulated as well.
Exactly. So why does the country with like so much space?
So like meaning like we have all kinds of space. We have all kinds of space, and we can take in more people at the same time. So like, I don't know.
That's it. Canada is taking in more people, but it's still not addressing the housing crisis.
We take them in, but we don't let them live anywhere. Except for the hammock under their desk. Yeah, we just hand out hammocks.
Desk hammocks.
Desk hammocks.
Go find a desk. Welcome to Canada.
It's not even their own desk. Just go find
any
a desk.
Exactly. Just going to work, sit at your desk, accidentally kick in someone who's asleep, going, "I'm sorry, I had to come in early. You have to work around me." But I honestly, I think is a lack of imagination. Have you ever heard of a thing called World War II?
It rings a bell, Rhys.
Yeah, it was the one that happened after World War One.
Thank you.
And it was the last World War because the third one will be the end of all of us. So.
Always the optimist.
So Britain had been bombed to pieces, and it was estimated that they needed to build immediately 250,000 new homes.
Okay.
To provide all families in 1945 with accommodation. So they started this massive home building program that was really successful. A lot of the houses they built, people still live in today and are of really good quality. But what they did was they came up with this thing where they were like, we don't just need new houses, we need new towns and new cities. Right. So they actually planned, there was a thing called the New Towns Act of 1946, which basically was... the idea was it was supposed to be a revolution. So to create machinery for positive town construction. So they built 27 new towns in the UK over a period of like decades, and they include places like that are like big towns that grown into being cities like Milton Keynes, places like Cumbran, which is near where I grew up. which is like just a whole purpose-built town, essentially, where a lot of them were built like so that you had space. There would be like a nice grassy area. The houses were built around. They were on trains. It was easy to get a train there. They had train lines running through, so you didn't necessarily have to have a car. It was walkable. Like shops were in walking distance. And it was just a nice place to live. And they still are like the nicest places to live because they were laid out in a way where people are like, let's build whole new towns, design them and build them in a way that people would like to live there.
Wow.
And that was in a small country which didn't have a lot of space. And I'm like, Canada's got so much space. You could easily just go, well, there's not enough space, so let's just build some more communities that don't rely on cars and also that are nice, rather than just shoving condos in bits.
Shoving condos in bits.
Yes, small bits.
So what was the name of that act that said
the New Towns Act of 1946?
Was that the one that where developers are if developers are coming in to build, houses or whatever, they had to create a percentage of that that was at least affordable.
A lot of the houses they were building were affordable because a lot of the people didn't have money to buy houses then. They were like moving out of the cities that were in ruins. And
but is that the name of the act?
The New Towns Act.
That's what you were talking about. Is that?
Oh, that was Section 106, which is
Section 106. So in Canada, all we have to do is make sure that none of our politicians are corrupt, are put in some sort of law that prohibits them from accepting bribes or punishments if they do accept bribes, and then in state Section 106, is it 106?
Yeah,
Canada-wide. And
so if you're going to build new stuff, you've got to make 25% of it affordable.
Right. So all of that seems easily doable.
It was being done,
right?
So many times. They also did it in
do it.
They did it in France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, and there's a lot of places in the US where they've done it as well. There's places like Peachtree City in Minnesota and Riverside Plaza in Minneapolis. So they just built entire new towns just to solve housing crises and like also to do better planning. So rather than just cramming more people in areas that are already built up and don't need more people, you just purpose build one that is, hey, if we design it this way, there'll be less traffic. If we design it this way, they can get a bus or a train to work rather than driving all the time.
You're missing a huge point though here, Rhys. You're missing
everyone in politics is just shit.
Yes, but like let's really narrow it down and look at it from their side. Okay, you've got these real estate developers who are, really, really wealthy, but they're not rich enough. They need more money, right? Always they need all of the more money. And in order for them to do that, they go to the politicians who need more power and need more money as well. They need more power and money. This is like doubly so. So the two of them working together, the real estate people who need more money, they pay off the politicians who need more money and power so that both of them can have more money and more power because they don't have enough. Do you see their side? Do you see their side of the coin? You got to look at both sides, Rhys. Both sides.
I got a quick fix for this though. So politicians, they want power, but as they get old and they realize they can't play the political game anymore, they want legacy. So you look at they want to have some kind of legacy though, so that when they leave and they're not prime minister or premier or anymore, that people remember them in 20, 30 years time rather than the names just vanishing overnight. So if we say to them, hey, if you build a load of new towns, you will name them after you. So go, hey, Justin, you can have Trudeau Town. Hey, Aaron,
Trudeau Town.
You can have O'Toolesville. Or
Toolville.
Yeah. And I think that if we let them kind of go, you'll be great. You'll be remembered. You've got to get politicians who are either just so old they don't give a shit anymore and they're just worried about their legacy, and then they probably do it. But
that's actually not a bad idea. Honest to God, that's not a bad idea. Just really pushing it, pushing the agenda towards their strings or their.
You go in 100 years' time, they'll go, "Who built this city? It was that man. There, he's dead. There's the statue." probably gonna have to remove it because it turns out he was racist to the standards of today. But they don't know they're dead. So
that's a great idea. Yeah. Housing crisis solved.
It's just not that. It's not hard.
Glad we did this.
I didn't black out once. There's no dried blood. All the blood is still liquid.
All the blood around your mouth is still
all the blood is just all the blood I'm vomiting up is just flowing.
Where's
fine.
the vomit coming from now?
It's
That's
just blood.
new.
I'm vomiting up blood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's not from my stomach. It's just from my brain hurting from thinking about all these big problems that no one can solve.
That was fun.
Yeah. It's
So there
depressing,
wasn't
though.
anyone on fire.
Was that? Nobody was on fire in the end.
And in the end, it was literally just you teaching me about the housing crisis. This was an educational episode.
We were brainstorming solutions and making jokes about impromptu comas from thinking too hard.
I had to make jokes because the content of the episode was literally nothing but pure education. You bastard! You tricked me again.
Did you feel better for it?
No.
Do you feel like we've given some hope and solutions to the world?
Listen to Jesus and carry a serviette in case there's dry blood. There you go. I don't know.
Exactly. What did you learn?
Nothing. That the housing crisis exists and politicians are corrupt.
And that they don't want to do anything.
They don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to
fix it. They don't want to fix it. The call to action.
No, wait, hold on. What about, don't we have...
I got listen to this. We got a haiku. I'm just going to play this for you. Ready? You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
This is Lynette from Alberta.
Hi, Lynette from Alberta.
Hi, Rhys and Jesse. This is Lynette from Alberta, and I'd like to submit a vaccine haiku. Vaccines gird our cells against an unkind virus's austere reckoning. Yeah, thank you for listening. And I actually did read a couplet while I was trying to come up with the haiku initially. And I think it would be really good for an old-timey PSA if you wanted to use it. It is, a tiny virus could do you in, but a tiny poke could save your skin. If you'd like to use it, please feel free. If not, that's fine too. Thank you. I hope you have a good day.
That was lovely. Thank you, Lynette.
Way more talented than us.
Well, I heard that recording before we did this, and I swear to God, Lynette, I thought you said a tiny pope would save your skin, and I'm like, what does that mean? And I was like getting all deep and like, whoa, this is getting religious and philosophical. A tiny pope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a little one. Just
good subtle promotion of Catholicism on a podcast.
Thank you, Lynette.
Lynette, thank you.
Before we go, we have one more haiku.
Well, no. I've got to do a PSA now.
I was just gonna say you have to do a PSA with music and sound effects in your PSA.
This
voice.
PSA is a retraction of the previous Spit and Wipe series. New scientific information has been revealed that spit and wipe does not sterilize a needle. Instead, we would like to promote something new. I can't even remember. What did she say? A tiny
pope.
A tiny virus will do you in, but a tiny poke could
save your skin.
Our new tagline is, a tiny virus can do you in, but a tiny poke can save your skin. Now some British people repeating that phrase. Tiny virus, do you in? Tiny poke, save your skin. There we go. That was a man. Listen to him. Goodbye. And remember, spit and... No, don't spit on one. Remember, a tiny virus will do you in, but a tiny poke may save your skin. This message was brought to you by the Ontario Board of Poking. There we go.
Previously known as the Ontario Board of Spit and Wipe.
Spit and Wipe. I'm going to come up with a new corporation called Spit and Wipe Solutions. The most environmentally friendly way to sanitize your hypodermic needles. Anyway, so and the other one was from a listener called Randomness is Fun 95.
Randomness is Fun 95
on Instagram. My horrible haiku: life-saving vaccine, a green life-saving vaccine, a green fuzzy bread wagon. Your choice made, unknown.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, I like that.
So have to send them. Video messages, Jesse.
I do. Just me.
Yes.
What about you?
Well, I didn't. It was your idea, so.
All right. Yeah. Email us. They didn't send. Yeah, I suppose.
Well, email CanadianPoliticsIsBoring@gmail.com and Jesse will send you a video of him dancing with no top.
That is not the deal. And that is not what's going to happen. A personalized video message was, I believe, the original deal. Just email us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Two of you. Okie dokie.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody. We love you. Bye-bye.
I don't.
If you have student loan debt over $75,000, listen up. Credible.com can help you refinance your student loans and save thousands. Unlike other refi sites that show you teaser rates, Credible lets you compare actual pre-qualified rates from top lenders in minutes. And with their best rate guarantee, if they can't find you a lower rate, they'll give you a $200 gift card. Let Credible help you get out from under high interest rate student loans. Go to Credible.com now.
Message from Credible Operations Inc. Pre-qualified rates are not on offer. Credit terms apply. Visit Credible.com for details.
Don't wait. Refinance your student loans today at Credible.com.